Helen,
And I'm Liz,
and we're sisters
scientists,
and lifelong X-Files fans.
and this is We Want to Believe.
Welcome, colleagues.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
I am at home because it is just grading time for me personally.
Nice. I got one more week, but
Finals.
closing in. Finals week is next week. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By the time this airs, I'll be done.
Oh, that's
So,
good. It's
yeah.
I did nothing today.
Oh, that's lovely.
I watched The Office and snuggled with the poodle and
Nice.
very, very lazily ordered myself Starbucks. Um, so it's yeah.
Do you mean it was lazy of you to have ordered the Starbucks, or
Yes.
do you mean the manner in? Okay, I thought you meant the way you ordered it was lazy.
I
Like,
mean, no, the way I ordered it was through Uber Eats. So I mean both. Yeah. But it's delicious.
yeah, that's nice.
What is the some sort of cinnamony thing, some sort of latte with coconut milk. Very delicious.
Nice. Better than I don't know if we've ever talked on the podcast. It was Christmas
Oh
time.
God.
I
Oh,
I ordered Helen a surprise Starbucks drink. She let me order it as a surprise, and there was a juniper flavor.
it was bad.
It was not good. Yeah.
No. Yes, if you hear assorted dog sounds, like I don't know if the recorder just picked up the collar shaking as he,
Yeah. I feel like the main dog sound people will hear is if you forget to mute yourself as you yell at him.
yeah,
So,
probably. He's been trying to eat Christmas ornaments. And by trying to, I mean he ate a Christmas ornament. So he is a bad poodle, as always.
oh,
But we're
oh.
almost to the end of 2024. Gatsby's New Year's resolution was no emergency surgeries. We are almost at the end of the year. Fingers
Oh,
crossed, we're doing good so far. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's a good resolution for us all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean it was specifically no emergency surgery for eating really dumb stuff. But
I mean, I guess if it's an issue for you, maybe
yeah,
it should be your resolution. Oh my God, do you remember, were you in the cab that night when we were younger and we were going out on New Year's Eve and we talked to the cabbie about his New Year's resolution?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was memorable and it's sort of related to Gatsby's in that he told us that he'd made one resolution years ago. It was perfect. He's always stuck to it. And it was never again eat an egg salad sandwich out of a vending machine.
Oh God, yeah, that sounds like a very good resolution.
Yeah.
I actually had a resolution this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? What was
I feel
it?
like we're jumping the gun a little bit, but it's, mid to
That's okay.
it was to take more videos because last year people were posting like video collages of like their year in videos or whatever from like their phones.
Hmm.
And I didn't have that many. And so my resolution was to take more videos, and I think I mildly succeeded.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
it was
it.
a very easy one. But I
That's a
think I
good one.
accomplished it.
Nice.
You just had a personal record in weightlifting.
I did. I just deadlifted 205 pounds, so that's
That's
exciting.
crazy.
Yeah, I
A
know.
lot.
I mean, it is a lot. It's not a lot if you look at like the weights that people deadlift in competitions, but I have to remember that competitions with weightlifting is not where they go and find random people off the street and make them deadlift.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. People that have been training for a very long time.
Yeah, like if you're bothering to enter a competition, it's probably something you care about and work on. So
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Whereas I have trouble carrying a full laundry basket up 2 flights of stairs when needed.
that's the stairs, though. That's the stairs. Stairs, I feel like I'm going to struggle with stairs my whole life. They never get easier.
Yeah.
There's something about them. They're horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of horrible things, is that a good transition? What's the,
Yeah, that
yeah.
works. Yeah, it's so we're talking today about the episode Revelations. I have some segues. I have some information. I have some talking about the episode. I don't know. It was okay. It was not as scary. Okay, so we were talking about how you think you've never seen it because it's about stigmata.
Yes.
It's not that scary. I mean, in retrospect, it's not that scary.
I mean,
I think you'd be fine.
oh, I'm sure now I would be. Yeah, I'm not concerned that I wouldn't watch it now, but there was a pretty significant period of time where I was very scared of getting stigmata.
You personally were worried about getting it. I just thought you were just afraid of the
No,
concept.
no, I was worried that I was going to. Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever look at your palms or anything and like
Yes, I did. I was very, very worried about this. This seemed like a very real possibility.
you hadn't taken stats yet, so.
Yeah, yeah. My ratio of church to statistics classes
Yeah,
was higher than
it's
it should have
skewed
been.
differently. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, so it has stigmata. It has some other weird stuff. It starts in a church in Pennsylvania. There's a reverend speaking. It seems like a normal enough sermon in a big church. It's not like crazy snake handling stuff. But then he starts talking about how miracles are real, and that's sort of the theme of the episode is miracles.
Ah,
And suddenly he like clenches his hands and blood starts dripping out from his palms.
ah,
And we do see this man in the audience, is this like white-haired man just kind of watching him real seriously. And then afterwards he's backstage. I don't know if that's the right word in a church. And uh all of a sudden that white-haired guy walks in and the reverend is like trying to be friendly and the man is like, some of us do believe, and says a few other things about how he believes in this. And then he strangles the reverend and he's strangling him, but then we see blood dripping down.
okay.
So that's unusual.
Yeah.
And the villain, I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler to say that guy's the villain. He is played by Kenneth Walsh, who was on Twin Peaks.
Oh,
And we are going to come back to David Lynch stuff later on.
oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah, it's not the only David Lynch connection. So, Mulder and Scully go to investigate. They're looking at the body, and it turns out there have been multiple murders of people who are fake stigmatics. That's what they call people who
Are
have stigmata.
there that many of them that there have been murders of them? That seems like maybe a one-off to me.
Yeah, apparently, this is the 11th murder in the
How
last
many
couple of years.
in okay, all right.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. That's a good point. Like, yeah,
I feel like one would make headlines, right? Like it seems like I don't know. Okay, all right.
yeah. How many people in any given year are pretending to have the stigmata?
Well, and see, maybe I did see this at some point, and that made it seem much more likely.
Yeah. Um, and so there's a lot of blood around the body, like I said,
Sure.
despite there being strangulation. And so Mulder's like, yeah, there's such a thing as too much faith. And then he tastes the blood and goes, too much sugar.
Oh, Mulder.
I know, I know. So it's ketchup
Okay. Oh,
or something. They say it's ketchup, but it seemed a little bit less viscous than ketchup.
okay.
Um,
That's
and he had like a complicated system under his shirt of like pumps and bags and stuff to like make it come out.
fake blood. People, why don't you just use fake blood? I'm sorry. I hate ketchup in a lot of scenarios, and I am just hung up on the fact that he should have just used fake blood. But
I mean, I can think of scenarios where maybe you need fake blood and you don't have access to it really quickly, like if it's not Halloween.
sure, true. But do you think if this is a regular part of your sermon?
For him, absolutely. He should invest in it. Yeah, absolutely. Like if you just need some like really quickly
Yeah, sure.
or some, I don't know, maybe you're like, oh my God, we have to fake this person's death really quick.
I also don't think ketchup looks anything like blood. Like I
It's way too viscous.
yeah, yes, and brightly colored. Like that is not
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, this, what was that?
barbecue sauce might work better.
Yeah, especially like you have some choice there. There could
Yeah.
be some that'd be really good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
And
like
delicious.
open pit.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
open pit.
Yeah. I'm hungry. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so Mulder says that there's been these 11 murders, and supposedly there should be 12 real stigmatics in the world, which is the same number of apostles, and that's why. Supposedly, the Bible says that.
Huh.
Supposedly, I made a note to myself that said, check this. I didn't. Um, I checked some other stuff, but I didn't, in my other checking, I certainly didn't encounter that anywhere, so I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
Um, so then we see oh, and we've already seen the opening, obviously, of the show. That was after the guy was strangled. Um, so we see it's an elementary school in Ohio. So the main character in this is a kid about William's age, and I do think I didn't love it. It was a
Oh,
little like
really?
I don't like seeing a kid in Jeopardy who is that close to William's age. Like it's a little bit like
Yeah.
did you find that after having kids that was harder for you to watch stuff with kids in
Um,
danger?
I think it depends on what it is. Like if sometimes true crime stuff affects me more depending on what it is, but it's very specific stuff. So like I don't know that um like this would probably bother me a little bit more, but not significantly. But if it's like gun violence, then it bothers me too much for me to contemplate. Like
Gotcha.
that is like
Yeah.
depending on
Yeah.
the reality of the threat, I think. Like I would have been able to listen to a
This
podcast
is
about like I don't know, Columbine or something maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah.
now I don't think I could. So that
Yeah.
seems to be the
Yeah. And I want to say this is not real violence. So yeah, I
yeah.
not something you need to worry about. But this kid Kevin, he's called up to the board to do a math problem, and all of a sudden his hands start bleeding.
Uh
And he goes to the nurse, and um, Mulder and Scully are called in pretty quickly because the FBI has like put out a warning about the like fake stigmatics getting murdered thing, and so they were like, this is stigmata related. Let's bring in these people." And apparently, previously this had happened, and they thought it was the parents harming him. So his dad was um, put in jail, and then Kevin was taken also from his mom and put in, they said, a shelter. They weren't clear on what that meant. There was a lot of vagueness about the system in ways that I just felt like I have doubts about how this works, but whatever. His dad ends up institutionalized and like wait because he was like waving a gun around and saying he needs to protect Kevin,
oh.
and now he does a lot of like ranting about religious stuff, I guess.
Oh.
And so
Well, now
since
I'm
it's happened to
kind of inclined to feel okay about Kevin being elsewhere.
yeah, yeah. His dad is well, so his dad is in an institution.
Okay.
His mom is with Kevin now.
Ah.
She now has custody of him. And so she rushes in and she's real upset. And the school is like, we think he should be back in the shelter until this gets sorted. And she's obviously very upset about this. And they're taking Kevin's temperature because he says he doesn't feel good. And it's, it's a 90s style thermometer where the mercury
Oh, yeah.
rises
Uh-huh.
and it like bursts at the end.
Huh. I
There's no more mention of this at all in the
oh,
episode.
okay. Because I was gonna so I mean, okay, first of all, stigmata is when someone
Oh yeah, we didn't actually
yeah,
define it, did we?
their body mimics the wounds of Christ. That's like the whole thing. I don't think it was very prominent that he had a fever. Like I don't remember that being
I
part of
mean,
the, you know,
no,
story. Uh
no, I don't.
okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mulder's theory is that Kevin did this to himself to prove that it wasn't his dad that had hurt him before, and that this is to get his dad back in his life.
Okay.
And it's weird. I'm like, oh, Mulder's saying something sort of sensible, huh? So they go to talk to Kevin's dad in the institution. Again, classic X-Files institution. They're not wasting their money on light bulbs, you know. It's very dark. The dude is creepy. He says Armageddon's coming. Kevin's been chosen to stop it. And then he tells Scully this important phrase that'll come back. You have to go full circle to find the truth.
Okay. All right. This is giving me big you'll be the one to save us all vibes.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, it is like that.
my airplane
If one
story.
of our previous episodes, a man told Helen that on an airplane.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so then we see him at the shelter, which more looks like a traditional orphanage. Like there's a
Oh.
big room with a bunch of bunk beds, and it's Kevin and a bunch of boys around his age.
Hmm.
Um, Kevin is telling them a scary story, and then we see this bald man with kind of an unusual face, kind of approaching scarily, and he comes in, and everybody but Kevin runs, and the guy looks at Kevin's hands, and they're bleeding again. And then the scene ends, and so it's like this guy has come after Kevin, and it's not the white-haired man we saw before.
That was gonna be my question. Okay. All right.
He's bald, he's tall. He has like a very like I don't know how to describe his features. Like they're sort of large and unusual. Like there's like it the actor is a guy named Michael Berryman, and he was in The Hills Have Eyes, and he's been in a lot of horror movies playing like scary dudes. He has I can't remember the name of the condition, but he has some condition where he doesn't sweat,
Oh,
and like
huh.
that has some other implications, and so he has just kind of an odd face. Um
Okay.
and uh, Fun facts about Michael Berryman: he was raised Catholic, so which fits with this episode. And before he became an actor, he was a florist.
Oh.
Also, be relevant.
Okay.
Sort of,
Cool.
sort of. Um, so Mulder is talking to the other kids and taking statements from them. They do a sketch of the guy and like by describing him, and
Oh,
Kevin has been abducted.
okay. That was okay. Kevin has been taken.
Yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't immediately clear. It's like, wait, where is Kevin? And then they say he's been abducted.
Ah,
Kevin's mom is rightfully very angry
yeah.
because he was taken away from his house, put in this place, and abducted immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, in the composite drawing that they get, Mulder describes it as Homer Simpson's evil twin. He's got like big eyes and all that. But then Kevin's mom looks at the drawing and goes, "Oh, that's Owen Jarvis. He did yard work for us."
Oh, okay. That sounds
Yeah.
familiar. Like I wonder if I have seen this. That name, or maybe they've like reused the name. I don't know. There's something about
I thought the name was so familiar as
huh,
well.
weird. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is, if there's something else I'm thinking of or what, but like, yeah, if you Google Owen Jarvis, you just get this character.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there's somebody else. And there's also an Owen Jarvis who's an attorney in Columbia.
Ah,
Um,
that's probably not.
it's probably not it. But yeah, I don't know, but I absolutely agree. I wonder if it's like a similar name or something.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So we see that Kevin is at Owen's house. They're in the attic, and he's got some like little wooden ark toys, like little wooden animals and stuff. And Kevin wants to go home, but Owen's like, it's not safe. And he says, think of me as your guardian angel. And Mulder and Scully then show up at the house because now they have his name from the mom. And Owen goes out there with a shotgun, but Mulder and Scully have their guns drawn, so Owen has to put it down. Scully goes to get Kevin, and Owen's just like, "Don't hurt him, don't hurt him." And it is like he's trying to protect him,
Hmm.
in a creepy way, but he is trying to protect him. And so Scully can't find him in the attic, and Owen just keeps saying, "God has me here to protect Owen," and so they take him in. They arrest him, and at the station, he's still not saying much. Mulder's impatient. Mulder's getting angry, and Owen's like, "Well, you must believe, Scully," and gestures to her cross necklace, and he's like, "Yeah, but you don't."
Quick question. So, and they
Yeah,
didn't find Kevin?
nope.
Okay. Okay.
No sign of him.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, he just isn't there.
Okay.
Don't
All
know.
right.
So yeah, they're interrogating him. And I'm so sorry, they're not at the police station yet.
Mm.
They're interrogating him at the house. They still
Oh,
haven't
okay.
found Kevin
Okay.
because they're on the second floor of this attic, but it's not like completely closed off. There's like a window. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's important because uh, Owen is like, you don't understand sacrifice. I'll do whatever God needs me to do. And he runs out the window through the glass pane, falls to the ground, and I'm like, oh my God, he's dead. He's not dead. He gets up, he's injured, but he runs off. And he rips off the handcuffs like a
Whoa.
superhero. Yeah,
I just ran through a window on a date. That's,
exactly. He's like Buster Bluth.
oh my
With
God.
the gauze. Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Weird. All right.
Yeah, and so I do think the next scene was like legitimately scary. There were some good moments in this episode. It wasn't terrible. I think I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Kevin comes back. It's nighttime. He was hiding in the forest somewhere, and he comes back into. Oh no, because he's now at his mom's house. He's gotten back to his mom's house without anyone
Oh,
seeing him.
okay.
It's dark. He's calling for his mom, and he's kind of looking around the house, and then the doorbell rings, and Kevin kind of peers out the window and then runs back and runs out, and then you see the doorknob. You were like inside the house, and the doorknob loosens, falls into the house, and is smoking like the metal had been superheated.
Oh, creepy. Huh.
Yeah. And then the creepy white-haired dude from the beginning, the villain, the bad guy is what I just started calling him in my notes because I didn't have a name for him. The bad guy is there and he's creepy. And Kevin is hiding in a laundry basket in the big walk-in closet. And the guy's looking all over for him. And he goes into the closet and it's like maybe he's not going to see Kevin, but Kevin is like has his hands up on the like he's peering and watching, and then his hands start bleeding and the blood comes through the laundry basket.
Oh.
And so the bad guy spots him. But then Owen arrives. I don't know what
Oh,
he's been up to
wow.
in the meantime, but Owen is there. And so they start fighting and fighting. And Owen is like, run, Kevin. And Kevin runs. And just as Kevin is running down the stairs, Mulder and Scully burst in.
Okay.
Unclear on like the timing of everything. Where is Kevin's mom? What time of night is it? What's everybody been up to? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Mulder and Scully burst in, and Kevin's like upstairs, and they run upstairs. The bad guy's gone, and Owen is dead.
Oh, no. That's too bad.
I know it is. And then Kevin asks Scully if he was sent to, or if she was sent to protect him. So this is an episode that is like further exploring Scully's Catholic faith, um, and contrasting it with Mulder and his like, because what happens now is, well, that's the whole point of what I'm doing. I'm telling you what happens. I don't. um, so Scully is doing an autopsy of Owen to figure out how he died. Because he has burns around his neck. He has strangulation marks, but they look like it looks like there's been like a thumbprint burned into his neck.
Creepy. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so Scully is able to like take some data on that, and they're eventually able to use those handprints to identify who it is. But they
Ah.
before that happens, she's looking at him and she notices that like it's been 14 hours since he died. His body is not breaking down. His body is totally normal and he's 98 degrees. He looks fine. And
That's
Mulder comes in
weird.
and yeah, and Scully's like, Mulder, will you do me a favor? Will you smell Mr. Jarvis? And I felt like that should have been a bigger comedy moment than it was. Like it wasn't that much because Mulder doesn't smell anything, but Scully can detect a faint floral odor.
Huh. Weird. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and so she says they learned in catechism class about incorruptibles like Saint Cecilia, whose bodies wouldn't decompose and they would smell of flowers.
Yeah. Weird.
Have you heard of those?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's
Really?
from Catholicism or the X-Files, but I have. I'm familiar with
Okay.
Cecilia, and I think probably Catholicism slash history slash
Hmm.
uh I don't know, mysteries.
Fair. So Mulder is like, look, he was abnormal in life. He's probably just abnormally decomposing. It's not any big deal.
Yeah, no, that's not how things work.
And it's so like, I don't know. Mulder is so not wanting to believe anything weird is going on. This is kind of the start of these conversations they have for the rest of the episode. And I just felt like I was having a very hard time not like it just seemed like a little too much given how absolutely outlandish the stuff he normally believes is.
Yeah.
That like
Right. That just because it speaks of religion, that he would have like no alternative explanation. Like it seems like maybe he doesn't think it's religious in nature, but like why wouldn't he think it's like, I don't know, some other weird thing, right? Like,
exactly. No, he was probably a cryptid or something.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um
Huh. Yeah.
yeah. So they are able to pull those prints though from the neck, and it's a guy who is a CEO at a big company in Atlanta, and his name is Simon Gates. And apparently he got a DUI a few years ago, paralyzed a young boy, disappeared, went to Israel, came back, and has been erratic ever since. So I don't really know what we're supposed to get from that.
Right.
He went there and the devil was hanging out. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
It got in him. Yeah.
Huh. That's really weird. And wait, and there's no further explanation coming?
No.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's odd.
When when Owen Jarvis was talking to Scully at some point, oh no, sorry, when the dad was talking to Mulder and Scully, he was like, Armageddon's coming and all that. And he was also saying that like, oh, it's gonna come from like a very powerful man. So like
Huh.
he's a CEO of a big company.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really buy that, but that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. And and then Mulder and Scully get a call and it's something kind of confusing. Kevin just left with his mom from the school, but also just left with the social worker.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's confusing. Um, I was trying to figure out like who lied,
Yeah.
like was there like and that's not actually where this is going.
All right. Are there
Yeah,
two Kevin?
sort of sometimes.
Okay. All right. All right.
So Kevin and his mom are together in the car. The car is broken down. I think it's like overheated or something because they've got the hood popped, but they're like just kind of look inconvenienced. And a car pulls up, ready to help. It's Simon Gates, and he's trying to help, and he's getting kind of. And Kevin's mom is like, "It's fine. It always does this. It just needs a minute." And he like does something to it, and then it works. And he's like, "Aren't you gonna thank me?" And he was just like kind of creepy. And he's noticed Kevin in the back of the car, and it's clear that he is going to do something bad. He's very like he stops hiding that he's not sinister. And then Kevin suddenly yells, "Hey, mister!" And he runs off, and the man chases him.
Oh,
But at the same time, he also gets out of the car and helps his mom up from the ground where the bad guy had pushed her.
okay.
So
All
we
right.
see Kevin with his mom trying to like rouse her, but we also see Kevin running through the woods and the bad guy following him.
Okay. Huh.
So I think we'll maybe pause here and talk about what this phenomenon is called. It is called bilocation.
Oh, okay. In uh in a conscious way? Like what are they saying is happening? Like is Kevin um
Two Kevins. This is what I got for you.
okay. Like
It's just
astral projection?
no, they're both real, but they're temporary.
Okay. And is this something Kevin can do, or is this like in
I think my interpretation, and maybe this is meeting them more than halfway, is that in times of stress, Kevin can just spontaneously produce this sort of behavior.
huh.
But it's some sort of magic thing Kevin can do that is like apparently a thing that certain saints were said to have been able to do.
Oh, that I am unfamiliar with.
Yeah, so some of the details of this episode are inspired by this guy named Saint Padre Pio, who is
I've
Italian.
heard of him.
Um,
Okay.
he did all sorts of weird shit, apparently.
Huh.
He was born around the turn of the last century, lived in Italy, claimed to have stigmata, claimed to supposedly some people saw him levitate. Um, some weird stuff. I don't know. I didn't read too much about him. I tried, but I kept getting bored, to be honest. I was just like, I want to care more, and I don't. I don't know. But I guess a lot of this episode was inspired by some stuff that Padre Pio was said to have done or had happened.
Okay.
Um, but the other bilocation thing, I was like, I know about that because it's from a David Lynch movie.
Oh, really?
Um, yes, it is, I think, like one of the scariest scenes. Have you seen Lost Highway?
Yes, but I get them all pretty confused. Is this when he's on the
There.
phone? Is that
Yes.
okay? Go ahead
Yes.
and finish describing because
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So Bill Pullman, it doesn't matter the details. Bill Pullman's at a party. He's talking to Robert Blake. That's that guy's name, right? The one that one of our parents thinks killed somebody and one of our parents thinks didn't.
Yeah, I firmly am on the he probably did side, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about it, but I feel like if someone asked me right now, quick, bet a few bucks one way or the other, I'd probably put it on that he killed someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Robert Blake is talking to Bill Pullman's character at this party. He's very creepy affect where he's just talking very, I don't know, weirdly. And then he passes him his cell phone and he's like, I'm in your house right now. Call me. And he calls his house and Robert Blake answers while Robert Blake is standing across from him, smiling creepily at him.
Oh, yeah, that is what I remember, like specifically the him standing there smiling, being super creepy.
That was like one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, David
Did
Lynch.
you see Eraserhead?
That is the one I think I haven't seen,
Ah,
actually.
I mean, don't. This is not a recommendation. That is one of the other most unsettling things I have seen. Two thumbs down. Do not recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one with a creepy baby, right?
Yes. Everything is creepy. I hate it. I hate it partially on principle. I know we've talked about this, that I watched a lot of David Lynch to impress
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy that I had a crush on in college. Um,
Yeah.
and I hate it so much. I hate that movie for like I think it's stupid that it was made. And like I don't know. I am deeply not a fan. But Lost Highway I remember being pretty good. But
I mean, I think it's good.
yeah.
I mean, it's weird, of course,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
I just because that's the one that starts with like this guy gets a videotape of his house, like somebody's been filming his house and then like leaves the tape for him, which is creepy.
Yeah.
Um, which we then did to our friend Sutton.
Oh gosh.
So it was me and Helen Chang really liked that movie, and I remember when the two of us watching that scene with Robert Blake on the phone and everything, and we were just like, oh my God, like this is so scary. Um, the other person who I remember on the list of people who have done bilocation supposedly was Pythagoras.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Wait. What? Really?
Okay, so
That
Pythagoras.
proved the theorem was like two of him and 2 points of the triangle. And, like,
That would make it so much easier. Yeah.
what?
Like, hey, me, how many steps have you taken?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so Pythagoras has like some weird stuff about him. Like, did you, so there's a, I'm getting this knowledge a little bit from Wikipedia, but a lot from a thriller that I read. Did you read the Carol Goodman book, one of the two that takes place in Italy, where there's like a cult?
I thought I had read all of hers.
It's like this woman is in a shooting in Austin,
Yeah, yeah,
Texas.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So part of that is that her ex is in this cult.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So Pythagoras did some culty stuff and had some like mystical beliefs,
Huh.
which like in a way, I mean, I kind of get it in that like science
Art.
and what?
Like you kind of get it, like why he would.
I guess I need to get to my point quicker.
Okay.
I when we learn about the history of science, for example, a pretty non-exciting thing is like kinetic energy. Is it proportionate to speed or is it proportionate to the square of speed? And there's this experiment that was done by this guy, Willem Scravazanda. His name starts with an apostrophe, his last name, which I just think is a great way to start a last name. It is apostrophe S space and then the rest of the name.
Ooh, nice.
Anyway, he did this experiment where he dropped balls from different heights into a clay bed and then looked at the depth of the indentation they made and compared that to the speed that they were moving right when they hit.
Okay. All right.
It's a pretty nice experiment. The thing is, it had all of these philosophical and religious implications because uh, it was thought that it should not be proportional to speed squared. It should just be proportional to speed because that is like what is natural and not convoluted. And God designed everything, and it should just work in the way that you
I'm
expect.
sorry, God doesn't square numbers? Is that the like it can't be derived from God because he like doesn't do that math? Like that's insane.
I have literally never questioned that.
Like, if we're going based on intelligent design, like what, he can design humans, but he can't square something? Like, that's nuts.
Swearing is just a bit much. I I have never questioned that. Like,
Huh.
what is it about squaring that? Yeah, but
Okay.
like
But that was the
in whatever way. So it's like part of like the scientific revolution is all of this, also these talks, because that's when this was happening. All this like how do our findings relate um to our religious
sure.
beliefs?
Yeah.
And so it does make sense to me in a way that Pythagoras had that same deal way earlier, that like he did all his important stuff with math, but he was a vegetarian. That not that that means anything one way or the other necessarily, but it was part of his like religious beliefs was to be a vegetarian, and he had um like disciples or followers or whatever. And so
Huh.
it's like on the one hand, scientists or people today would have like a research team, but on the other, there was like,
I'm sorry. I just like the idea of instead of having like lab meetings, I'm having like meetings with my disciples. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, like, I feel like I'm saying weird stuff that seems totally reasonable to me. And like,
No, I get what you're saying though, that like it wasn't, something that was you would have had to be thinking differently to be coming to these conclusions in the first place.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
just that, like life, like philosophical and spiritual beliefs were so intertwined with everything. It wasn't like nowadays there's this idea that there's a dichotomy between science and religion as if they're like anti each other,
Right.
versus back then it was like, no, 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 we're using science to explain stuff about religion.
Yeah.
Um, so it did not totally shock me that Pythagoras can supposedly bilocate.
Huh.
Um,
All right. Yeah. Wow. That is fascinating.
yeah, I think it'd be a really great way to get more work done. That's such a capitalist, creepy thing to say, but like maybe it's the end of the semester.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, no, if I could have a different Helen do my grading, that would be that would be it. That would,
But like, yeah, I mean, it has like there's a lot of questions I have, like, but which one am I? Like,
yeah.
which Liz am I? Like, what is that? Which have you seen Severance, the TV show
Seven?
with Adam Scott?
No,
Severance. Oh, it's not the exact same idea, but it's that these people who work for this company have this procedure done where they don't have any memories of their workday. So their life is basically get up in the morning, oh, work's over, cool, go hang out with friends, whatever. But that means they have like another self almost who has no memories other than of work. So they leave the office and then they're coming back in the morning and it's like almost like separated. And so there's clearly some creepy stuff going on with this company. Season 2 is coming soon. It was incredible.
Huh.
Um
Yeah, that's
yeah,
whoa.
yeah, yeah. Um so yeah, I do think I'd feel bad if I was like, other Liz, you go do that grading. But maybe we
Yeah.
could just take turns.
Yeah. I'm imagining a situation where it's like almost like a golem. Like
Hmm.
uh not real me that I am like I can still put information into, like
Mhm.
a body double that looks like me, but is just like, able to check answers on an exam.
Yeah. Um, we are doing our next episode with Mallory Marlowe. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But on the topic of new books from this year, just came out this book called I Made It Out of Clay.
Oh,
And it is about a woman who makes golem? Fuck, how do you say that?
Golem. Gollum is from Lord of
Golem.
the Rings. Golem is the
Right.
creature.
Okay. Who makes one to date. And there's all sorts of like, bad stuff that happens as a consequence. And it takes place around Chicago. And it's by, she has the same literary agent as me. So it's another of Allie's clients. Her name's Beth Kander. And it's
Cool.
called I Made It Out of Clay. I haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited
Yeah,
to.
that sounds
So
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, because I think there's some problems
Yeah,
when that
I'm
happens.
sure.
Yeah. There is an X-Files about a golem.
Oh yeah, that's right. Much later
Yeah,
on, I think. Yeah, it's
much later. Yeah.
making me think of The Good Place, though, with Janet making
Derek,
yeah.
Derek. I'm obsessed with Jason Mantzoukas. So,
Yeah,
like,
I always forget the actor's name, but he is great. Yeah,
I am,
I'm a big fan.
yeah, he is supposedly going to be on the next season of Taskmaster, and it will be like the best possible thing that could happen to me related to entertainment. I'm like, I think about it every day. Like, I'm way too focused on Jason Mantzoukas. So,
I mean,
yeah.
what is too much?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I'm focused the right amount. Everyone else isn't focused
Yeah.
enough on Jason
Yeah.
Mantzoukas. Like I just keep wearing that "What's Up Jerks" t-shirt. That's what he says at the start of their live shows for their podcast. So
Yeah.
I had a dream that our podcasts collaborated
Oh,
and
that,
we were on his podcast and I was like,
that would be
I can't
awesome.
believe we talked them into this. Like I'd somehow tricked them into thinking we had the same size audience. And I was just like, okay, we got to play it cool. So
That's great.
yeah.
Um,
So I should get back to the episode, I suppose.
yeah, by location.
By location. So the Kevin that is run off just poof disappears. And while the bad guy is like, where'd he go? The mom drives up and hits him with her car.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I'm thinking, huzzah. But then it
Right.
turns out the mom is like super out of it and she's like clearly concussed or something. And then she drives into a tree
Oh, ooh, okay.
and dies.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's horrible.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel terrible. So like Scully is talking to Kevin and is like, you know, it's not your fault. I just like Kevin is like, it's happening because I'm different. I don't want to go back to the shelter. And so Scully's like, you know what? You don't have to. I think we should keep you with us for right now for safety, which is a good idea. And yeah, I felt horrible that his mom died. His dad is like crazy and dangerous, and his mom is dead now, and this creepy devil guy's trying to kill him. So we see that the bad guy Gates is just like hiding in the weeds with some mud on him, watching them.
Ooh.
So he sees that Kevin has left with Mulder and Scully, though. That's the important thing to get there because then they're at a hotel. Kevin is like Scully kind of like gets the bath running for him, gets him ready there. Kevin starts to take off his shirt, and Scully sees he has a big cut on one side of his ribs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
wounds of Jesus. And then she goes to talk to Mulder about it while Kevin has got the bathroom door shut and he's taking a bath. And she's like, that wound wasn't there. I checked him out after the car accident. That wound was not there. This is new. And she's like, why can't you see this as a miracle? And Mulder's like, this is not testing my faith, only my patience. And like is it's just ridiculous because
Yeah.
he believes the most outlandish things. I just feel like his character should believe it has another outlandish explanation.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there is like, I have zero belief that Mulder would think this is like some rational explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they hear a noise in the bathroom. They go in. Kevin is gone. There were bars on the windows, but the bars have been widened and are all hot.
Oh,
And Kevin has been clearly kidnapped by the bad guy.
oh,
And Mulder's like, oh, he must have had an acetylene torch to like melt these bars or whatever, which just again seems like the sort of insane thing Scully would say to try to excuse stuff. But like,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So they go back to talk to Kevin's father again, to just because they're like, don't know what else to do. But he's acting all weird and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm a little foggy right now. And it turns out he's been put on a ton of tranquilizers.
Oh,
And Scully asks him about that phrase he said, the full circle to find the truth. Full circle to find the truth. He can't remember. And then Mulder gets a call and is like, the guy's been spotted at the airport. We got to go
oh,
to the airport.
oh.
But then Scully turns and she sees something in the hallway and she's like, full circle to find the truth. And she figures something out and she's like, if I'm wrong, I'll meet you at the airport. Do you want to guess what it was she saw in the hallway? That I don't know that you'd be able to guess, but
So at
that is
the
full
at the
circle to
institute.
find the truth. Yeah, but it's like a hospital type hallway. It's a pretty normal hallway.
Ah, okay. Like a person or like a thing?
A thing.
Oh, let me think. Nope, I got nothing.
It's a recycling symbol.
Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't come up with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she remembers that Gates, the bad guy, his company owns a recycling plant in Ohio.
Okay. All right.
So she's like, oh, and what town in Ohio, Helen? Oh, that would be Jerusalem, Ohio.
Is that a real place? Did you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't check. I should check right now. Um, yeah.
I'll pet this big dummy. I'll pet this big dummy who came to say hello.
It is a village in Ohio,
Ah,
yes. It's very small. The population most recently was 122 people.
oh, wow.
It would not have, I mean, this was an enormous recycling plant.
Huh.
Enormous. Like there's an, so it's I think it's the name of a real place, but it's not
Sure.
meant to
It's
be that
playing.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see Simon has Kevin there and he's like, you have to die for the new age to come. And Kevin is bleeding again. And then Scully shows up with a gun. Simon grabs Kevin and like runs away with him. And they go up on this catwalk and there's like a big, I don't know, paper masher underneath the walkway. And he's like gonna throw Kevin in. Then there's like a big commotion. And then we see blood down there in the paper thing as if it just squished somebody. And then Scully runs up, but Kevin is like clinging to the underside of the railing and they didn't really show it. Somehow Simon got flipped into there and Kevin is okay.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I will add that the big paper cruncher things reminded me because we're just in Joliet of the Kerr glass factory was down there when I was a kid. Kerr glass. If you look at ball jars and look at the bottom of them, you
Yeah.
might see they're made by Kerr, Kerr. Those were what I called the crunchers as a child. Do you remember they had these big things on the back
Yeah.
that were like
Vaguely.
I'm gonna say cruncher shaped. Um
Like
and I
claws, kind of, or like,
kind of like claws, but like wider
yeah,
or
yeah.
longer or something. Yeah. And so I thought that they crunched children there and turned them into Nestle's Crunch bars.
Yes, that's right.
Also, I suspected that my pediatrician was involved.
That's really scary. Why? I mean, like,
I, mean, I don't know how it went from those are crunchers to
Children.
they make children
Yeah.
into crunch bars and my doctor's, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was
Okay.
afraid of needles real bad as a kid, and so I feared the doctor. And
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a few steps in the logic that are lost to history.
Yeah. Presumably you were pretty little, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I mean, it was when we lived down there. I was 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, maybe we're 4, like
Yeah.
3 or 4. Yeah, like very little. Um, so Scully says goodbye to Kevin. It's daytime, things are better. She says, maybe I'll see you again sometime. And he goes, you will. And I don't think she does, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Not in the show. Um, he leaves. It's where's Kevin going? I don't know. Some nice adult is taking him somewhere.
Okay.
Because I was like, this is bad for him. Like, Jesus Christ, poor Kevin. Like,
Yeah, for real.
yeah. But he seems okay. And Scully's like, Mulder, can you wrap up things with the police? I have something I have to do. And so she goes to a Catholic church and she goes to confession. And she's like, I haven't been in 6 years. I've kind of drifted away. And the priest is like, so do you want to make a confession? And she's like, no, I normally discuss stuff with a work friend, a friend of mine who I'm close to, but I can't about this because he doesn't believe. And she asks the priest, do you believe in miracles? And he's like, of course, there's miracles every day, child being born, the sun rising. And she's like, no, no, like real ones. And she kind of gives him a quick overview, just as like, I saw some things that helped me save a child's life, but my partner didn't see them at all. And now I'm starting to doubt myself because like he didn't see them. Maybe I didn't really see them. And he's like, well, maybe they were only meant for you. And Scully's like, so I could find my way back. And then the priest is like, well, sometimes we must come full circle to find the truth.
Ah.
Which I just felt like, okay. I don't know.
It
I
reminds
mean,
me of a conversation kind of that I once had. Maybe it's just priests being bad at communication is where my story that when I was pregnant with Hugo, my littlest, I had a partial placental abruption and was hospitalized for 2 weeks. And it was only like, why can't my brain do 12 minus 2? 10 months.
I believe it's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that God math again. I don't know. It was only 10 months after the twins had died, and so I was understandably very freaked out. And they asked
hmm
at the hospital if I wanted to speak to like a chaplain or something, and I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, people keep telling me like have hope, like this one will be okay, and I'm like, but I'm having trouble believing that given past experiences. And the guy is just kind of standing there awkwardly, and he goes, well, you just have to. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, thanks. Like, bye.
What is the point of you, dude? Oh my God.
Yeah. Like I'll go back to watching the Harry Potter marathon on TV. I'm good. Thanks.
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, like that is so useless. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Like that should be the priest that like just lights the candles or something.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
have that one in a hospital. Like let's send
No,
him somewhere else, please. Like,
no, no. Oh my
yeah,
God.
we got to screen people
It,
better.
I, I assume I've told you this story about when I was at community college and I was like, okay, I finally like I'm having some mental health issues. I need to talk to someone. And I was really nervous about it. And I got set up with a counselor through the school and I went in and I just like, as I do when nervous and in general, talk, 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 talk. I'm like having issues with depression, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm talking very fast. And I pause and I look at her and she says, have I told you this? What she said?
I think so.
I'm actually more of an academic counselor.
Oh God. Oh God.
But maybe it helped that you were able to get that out. And I was just like, no, 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 this is very bad.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, like somebody really screwed up, like at multiple places, multiple people. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I don't know. It was very bad. Yeah.
Did she like help you find the right person or
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't remember much after that sentence. Like
God, oh, so terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, so that's the episode.
Okay.
It was scary in parts.
Yeah,
It was really hard to deal with Mulder being that much of a skeptic for seeming no reason.
yeah.
Like I just like make him think it's aliens
Yeah, right.
or
I'd
something.
be pretty annoyed if I were Scully too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're kidding me. Like for all the
Yeah.
nonsense you spout.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Um but you know, there's some legitimately creepy moments. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was okay. I mean, you know, they were like, but yeah, like, why this guy? What's his story? How's he the devil? We never really got any information on that. He got all crunched up by the crunchers. So,
And we also don't know, like, presumably Kevin does have actual stigmata, but we don't get more info on.
nope. It, his hands are fine when he says goodbye to Scully. So it's almost like the implication is now he's safe forever. But why? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Huh. Okay. All right. All right. Well, yeah, I do think I have seen that one, but it's been a very, very long time. And I do think that
Yeah.
probably contributed to my extreme fear of stigmata as a young teenager.
Yeah, I imagine if you see it when you're young
Yeah.
and you're already primed to be afraid of that stuff, it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was worried, like, if I hope I don't get it, am I then for sure going to get it to like prove a point to me about belief? But like,
oh God.
yeah, yeah. Anxiety.
I feel like you can't even square numbers, but you can give someone stigmata just to spite them.
Yeah. Next week is War of the Coprophages. We'll be talking with Mallory Marlowe about her book, Love and Other Conspiracies.
Yeah, it should be a really fun one. We'll get to talk to Mallory about her book. We'll get to talk about one of the best episodes. I've already rewatched it. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm trying not to share them right now, and it's really tough. But it is a classic.
Yeah,
So
it's maybe my favorite episode, or one of.
it's not my favorite episode. You know, my favorite episode is Bad Blood. Bad Blood is perfect. No notes from start to finish. Bad Blood is the best episode of the X-Files ever. But War of the Coprophages is great. It's top 10 for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say tough.
Top 5 for you. Yeah. I'm not I haven't counted.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fair.
But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it should be a good one next week. It's one where if you only sometimes watch along with us, this might be a good one to watch. Because it is really enjoyable. It is a little creepy. There's some bugs. So if you're like,
Um,
"Ew," just look away.
yeah,
But there's a lot of them. That's kind of the whole thing.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of bugs, but I don't think it's the worst. I don't know.
I was more creeped out than I thought I would be by
Oh,
the bugs.
really? Oh,
Yeah. So we can
okay.
talk more
Right.
about
Yeah.
that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like this. And I was eating when I watched it, so there was that. But
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. I can't wait to hear more about the bugs.
Yeah.
So,
We will see you next week.
yep, rate, review, subscribe, and thanks for listening.
And if you want to find a way to get us on the podcast, How Did This Get Made with Jason Mantzoukas, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you've got that connection.
Yeah.
hmm Jason, if you're listening, we want to be on your podcast.
Hi, Jason. Bye, Jason.
We Want to Believe is hosted by Helen Werner and Liz Holden. It's produced by Zach Werner. The We Want to Believe theme music was created and recorded by Zach Werner. Find us at wewanttoBelievePod.com, on Instagram at wewanttoBelievePod, or send us an email at wewanttoBelievePod@gmail.com.